Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. This story is titled, Am I the Arsehole for asking for my dead sister's ring back after my brother used it to propose? It starts off. My sister died when I was like 6 and she was 17. We weren't super close or anything, but I still remember little bits of her. Her laugh, how she always painted her nails, her posters. She was like this perfect angel to my mum after she passed. I barely remember the funeral. When I was 12, I found this old ring in her stuff. Nothing fancy, just a silver ring with a small stone. It fit me and I don't know why, but I kept it. It wasn't some big dramatic thing. I didn't steal it or anything. I just took it and started keeping it. I didn't wear it loads or flaunt it. Just had it in this little box and sometimes I'd look at it when I'd missed her. It kind of became this one thing that felt like mine, like my piece of her. So anyway, last weekend we had this family lunch and my brother, 27 male, brings his girlfriend who everyone knew he was going to propose to. And yeah, he stands up, does the big speech and pulls out the ring. My sister's ring, the one I've kept for like 7 years. I literally froze. His girlfriend starts crying, people are clapping. I'm just sat there like, what the fuck? I look at my mum and she just smiles at me like nothing happened. After dinner, I asked her, was that the ring? And she's like, yeah, your brother asked me. And Dad and me said it was fine. Said it was sweet and symbolic and my sister would have wanted it passed down or whatever. And I was like, what? It was never yours to give though. Like, I've had it for years. And she just goes, oh, come on. It's just a ring. Don't be dramatic. But when I had it, it wasn't just a ring. So yeah, I kinda snapped. Waited till people were outside and told my brother I wanted it back. He laughed at first, then was like, no, what the fuck? And I said, okay, well then I'll tell your girlfriend where it came from and let her decide. He got mad, said I was ruining his proposal and making it about me like always. My mum dragged me into the kitchen saying everyone noticed I wasn't happy and that I left halfway through dinner. Yeah, because I was crying in the bathroom like, what? Dad tried to calm it down, but my brother kept going on about how selfish I was and that I've been weird about my sister for years. I didn't even say anything, I just left early and haven't spoken to any of them since. My mum rang me yesterday saying, have I calmed down and am I ready to say sorry? I said not really and she hung up. My cousin texted me later saying it was actually super messed up and she doesn't blame me, but I don't know. I probably could have handled it better, but I just felt so blindsided. It's not even about the stupid ring, it's just like they acted like it didn't matter to me. Like I didn't matter. So yeah, am I the arsehole? Absolutely not the arsehole for me. I mean, your family, I say, stole your ring and gave it to your brother without asking. I mean, you had it for 7 years. It's yours, period, in my opinion. But I kind of thought, why would he even want to use that ring anyway? He's proposing with, and I don't mean to be sort of crude here or anything, but he's proposing with his dead sister's jewelry that his little sister treasured. I found that a bit weird in itself. It's like, why? And the fact that the girlfriend didn't even know about it either, that it's some sort of secret and they're just using the ring. If it was so like sweet and symbolic, why hide it? But I'm really hoping that OP does get the ring back in this situation, but a commenter says not the arsehole. How did he even get the ring? It's not a family heirloom because that's his sister. He probably just found an easier way to propose to his girlfriend without paying anything. Honestly, the whole situation is weird. Of all the rings in the world, why this one? OP says, well, I often leave it in a small unlocked box. It's an inexpensive ring, but it's extremely pretty, and if someone proposed to me with that ring without knowing the context, I would be quite happy. Commenter says not the arsehole. I'm sorry for both of your losses. The only way you're going to get it back is to tell the fiancé. But it will probably mean ruining your relationship with your brother and causing more stress in your relationship with your mother. I hope he says I feel like such an arsehole for telling her though. Like I've just ruined her day. She's already posted the ring and everything. Commenter says info. How did he get the ring from you? Opie says I don't always wear it. I usually keep it in a little box. I wear it on when I'm having bad days or stressful times like during exams. It really helps me feel better, kinda like I'm doing this for her as well as me. I don't keep the box locked or guarded or anything. I wouldn't expect anyone to take it. It's just sat underneath my bed. Commenter says this whole post makes very little sense. How did the brother even know about the ring if Opie has been wearing it for years? How did he get it? Why would he propose with a random, presumably kind of cheap ring? Opie says it's not super cheap ring. I'm not sure on the exact price, I just know it's not super expensive. Why he chose to propose with it, I do not know. Maybe he thought it was sentimental. Another commenter says everyone sucks here. It wasn't your ring any more than it was your brother's. The ring belonged to your parents, and they had the right to do with it what they wanted. They let you play with it for a while and then they gifted it to your brother. Pretty normal with things in the household. Where they become the jerks is that they did it without even talking to you about it. Opie says it doesn't belong to my parents, at least I don't think it ever did, and she's gone now, and I don't exactly think she'll be upset at the idea I kept it. Someone says how old is Opie? Opie says 19. Someone says did Opie have the ring appraised? Opie says I don't know, I've never had it like professionally appraised or anything. Its price or even looks wasn't why I kept it, even though it's a pretty ring. I had it because it reminded me of her, and it really does help having it on bad days. So it wasn't too long after that OP came in with an update and said the mods on the other Am I the Arsehole subreddit refused my post, saying updates that don't resolve the conflict aren't welcome, so I'm giving it a shot here. And adds a link. While the final judgment of my last post seemed to be not the arsehole, I'm still so confused with the overwhelming amount of comments that said I was in the wrong. But one thing that a lot of people did say is that I need to tell my brother's fiance. And I guess that's right, as it did feel like I ruined her day with my strop, so afterwards I messaged an apology and asked her to meet up for lunch as an apology for the other day. I wasn't going to ask her for the ring back, I just wanted her to at least know my side of the story, I guess. Anyway, we meet up for lunch, blah blah, small talk or whatever, and she shows me the ring and tells me that, oh, it's so pretty. I know it's not expensive, but if it means so much to your brother for me to have it, it means so much to me. Like, what? Okay, just miss out crucial info when telling your future wife then, I guess. I kinda just stared at the ring and didn't know what to say, and I guess she must have noticed because she began apologizing a lot, saying, I didn't know, I'm sorry, and I finally got my ring back, or whoever's ring you want to call it. I was near tears. She took me back to my friend's house as I thought that was going to be it. Later I get a call from my bro where he says that I'm selfish and I'm so weird about my sister, and that I couldn't let him have his day. It had to be about me, telling me that I just ruined his marriage and that I can't claim anything with my sister because I was way too young to have a relationship. He ended the call and I tried calling both my parents, but they wouldn't pick up, till my dad called later telling me he's disappointed how I handled things and that I've blown up my brother's relationship over a person I barely knew. And honestly, I don't know at this point. I feel like it's all gone a bit too far. I don't think I can ever face coming home, and I've just ruined my brother's marriage. Am I the arsehole? Top commenters on this one says, if simply knowing the truth was enough to make her leave, it means your brother was manipulating her anyways. You saved that woman, not the arsehole. Another commenter says, what a bunch of fucking arseholes. Of course a young child is going to look up to her older sister. I'm guessing that she was kinder to you than this bunch of ghouls. They knew what they were doing was wrong, because they didn't tell you they were doing it beforehand. Pretending you have no relationship to your dead sister because you were young is just unfathomably cruel. No surprise the fiance bailed. She saw how they treated you and realized that this would be her future if she stayed with your brother, her actual feelings never mattering, only what he thought they should be. Best of futures to you. Sorry you lost your sister and have such a shitty family. Another commenter says, I don't know, I think your brother ruined his marriage by stealing the ring and using it to propose and then lying about it to his girlfriend. If his girlfriend doesn't want to marry him for his own actions, then that's on him. And one more commenter says, I think that you have to express that you're upset about them not asking you to grab the ring. Also, your brother accusing you of blowing his marriage. Like, dude, he didn't even say the truth to his fiance. That's the problem. I'm pretty sure this wouldn't have been an issue if you, your parents and brother had a conversation before just giving the ring, explaining why he wanted to propose with the ring and what it meant to him, deciding whether to give the ring or not as a family. I think that the ring doesn't belong to anyone, but to everyone in your family as a way to remember your sister. So if someone opposes giving it, simply don't give it. Opie added another post which was titled, "My 19 female parents, 55 male, 53 female, blame me for ruining my brother's 27 male marriage over my dead sister's ring, and I don't know how to repair our relationship. My parents blame me for ruining my brother's marriage over my dead sister's ring." And then shares the link to say, if you want full context, it's here. And says, "But essentially, after I told my brother's ex-fiancée that the ring he used to propose was a keepsake I kept of my late sister, she gave it back and I presume broke up with him. As of now, I've been staying at my friend's house and will be moving in to stay with my boyfriend for a bit when he comes back from holiday. My parents have taken his side and they want nothing to do with me, and my brother is the same. No one in my family, even if they are sympathetic, can get through to them and amend stuff. It seems the only way to repair the relationship would be to give the ring back, but even then I don't think I can. I'm at a loss and I don't know what to do and how to go about it, and it feels like I'll never be able to come home." Commenter responds to OP saying, "Here's the thing, your golden child brother is not going to pan out as a functioning adult in life, and he won't be able to take care of your parents as they get older. So live your life, do the best you can, and just wait. Your parents will come crawling back one day. By the way, the fiancé broke up with your brother because he was so cheap he stole a ring from his baby sister that belonged to his deceased sister that the living sister used as a comfort. The kind of man that can do that is not the kind of man any woman of merit will ever want to be with." Another commenter says, "You just found out your brother is the golden child. If the ring is just a ring, then why did the brother need it in the first place? Why is it just a ring when you want it, but it's meaningful when he wants it? Clearly there is some cognitive dissonance going on from their side. You're navigating this correctly. You just saved some poor girl from being married to a man who steals from his little sister without empathy or remorse. Good job." And one more commenter says, "Do not back down. If your brother was a sister and wanted it for an engagement ring, that might justify wanting the ring. But he wants to give it to someone outside of your family who presumably had no special relationship with your sister. It's your reminder of your sister. It's not up to anyone else to decide how important it should be to you, and it wasn't anyone else's to give away. You're moving out. You'll have space. They'll have space. Once things have cooled off, feel free to reach out in a casual way. If the ring comes up, explain once why it's important to you, and make it clear you're not giving it back. Then say something to the effect of, 'I want to move past this, but I don't feel you think I have a right to mourn my sister in my own way.' If they don't care after that, it's a wasted effort." What the brother and the dad said in this update was absolutely grim, that the dad saying blew up the relationship over a person she barely knew, and the brother saying you can't claim anything with my sister because you were way too young to have a relationship. Gatekeeping that. It's awful. And I really hope that OP does have support in the boyfriend and friends around her that she can lean on in this moment in time, because she's just clearly learned that she can't lean on her family in any way whatsoever. But what do you guys make of this situation? How would you deal with it if it was you? Would you consider giving that ring back? Let us know your thoughts, and let's move on to another story. And our next story comes from a throwaway account that says, "Am I the arsehole for feeling upset that my girlfriend is more impacted over Stan Lee's death than my father's death? I know that I'm the arsehole because I blew up on her about it when I should have been calm and should have just stepped away from the issue. Don't judge me on that, because I could not have helped that part, but I still need insight on why it's wrong or right for me to feel this way. I've known my girlfriend, 20 female, for 4 years, but we've only been dating for 1 year. She met my parents a couple of times, and we had a trip last Christmas break where she stayed in a hotel with me and my parents. It was a good time all around. Half a year ago, my dad passed away. It was expected, but it still hit me and my mum hard. My girlfriend reacted to the news with shock when I told her. She was there for me when I was really struck by grief, but ultimately, she was over it just about the instant she heard it. I chalked it up to her not having known him all her life, but today, it really made me feel aggravated. And this was in 2018, by the way, before we get through the next paragraph. A couple of hours ago, Stan Lee died, and news got around. May he rest in peace. The moment my girlfriend heard, she broke down crying, in a way that I've never seen her cry. She was so mortified by this, and I sat down with her and reminded her of the day that my father died and the way that I broke down. She started talking about Spider-Man, her favorite comic book series. Stuff like how she couldn't believe that such a good man died and how she was going to miss seeing his cameos. And for some reason, I couldn't help but wonder why she never said anything like this when my father died. Sure, she was there for me, but all she did was listen and tell me. I don't know what to say. Every time I talked to her about my memories. At the time, I accepted this. Stan Lee is a media legend, sure, but she didn't even know him. My dad was someone that she sat down and ate dinner with. My dad was someone that she met, and she couldn't spare any tears for him. I was very upset. I told her these things, yelling when I said it. She stopped crying and looked shocked, and even in the moment, I knew that I shouldn't have exploded like that. We decided that we will talk about this tomorrow. Look, roast me, tear into me. I feel very strongly about this. I know that I might be in the wrong. I want you to tell me why I'm wrong so that I can gain perspective on this. When OP was told his girlfriend barely knew his dad, OP says, "Sorry, I swear I'm not trying to argue with you. But the way that you phrased it kind of resonated with the train of thought that made me upset in the first place. I know that she barely knew my dad, but she also barely knew Stan Lee. I guess what is hard for me to wrap myself around and that upsets me to think about is how Stan Lee can be closer to her than my dad was. I just cannot wrap myself around the concept that she was closer to Stan Lee, a celebrity, than my dad, a person she talked to and spent extended time around." The commenter says to OP, "First of all, I'm sorry for the loss of your father. That must have been a very difficult time for you. I think maybe the fact that your dad's passing is still pretty recent may have played into you blowing up on her. But I don't necessarily think you're an asshole because of this. You just didn't express your feelings about it when you should have. Blowing up over it was definitely the wrong move, and yeah, maybe a bit of an asshole move, but I 100% understand where you were coming from. You need to remember, she didn't idolize your dad like she idolized Stan Lee, and she didn't have the appropriate reaction for either death. I think it's a bit much to be sobbing about the death of a celebrity you don't know, and I think she should be more sympathetic about your father's death because yeah, that's a very hard time. What it boils down to is the fact that she was supportive for you during your loss, but you weren't supportive to her during her loss. However, your loss is much more impactful, so I'm a bit mixed here. I don't know if I should consider you the arsehole or not." OP replies saying, "Thank you for your kind words. I understand that my anger was a spur of the moment thing. I normally have a better handle on my emotions, but when it comes to stuff about my dad, I'm still way too tender about it. I guess it isn't fair to be angry about her for not doing more in the past, since I can't change that. Though I can understand I'm the arsehole for not being there for her during a hard moment. There's a part of me that is irrationally angry that she is more upset about an idol than she was about someone I knew personally and that she met. I'm still not sure how to tackle this situation, but I still wanted to reply and say thank you for the kind way that you phrased things." Snip Snail says, "Arsehole? Not really. Right? Definitely not. As hard as it is to hear, Stan Lee was probably more impactful on her life than your father was, aside from his association with you. Marvel, superheroes, Spider-Man, media in general influences people's lives and ideals. Humans love to tell stories, and these stories shape our worldview. She's absolutely allowed to be upset and grieve over Stan Lee, the creator and originator of so many of these stories that she loves. One day I can guarantee people will react the same way over George Lucas or J.K. Rowling. This was posted in 2018, just to point that out again, but you're still grieving over your father. And I get that it's frustrating for you to see her upset over someone she's never met. However, when she was trying to comfort you in those early weeks, she probably just didn't know how, especially if she hasn't gone through anything familiar. How would you comfort someone after a loss like yours? There's no way to take the loss away. There's no way to make it better. She was probably thinking of every solution she could and had the self-awareness to know that there wasn't a real way to make it better. And if she did react as strongly to his death as you did, she wouldn't be there to help you. She'd be working through it herself, and it would be about her and not you or your mum. It probably wouldn't be an honest response either if she broke down, not knowing your father that well. So I guess what I'm getting at is, what would you want her to do instead? She can't stop herself from being upset over something that's upsetting, and she can't pretend to be upset when she isn't or when she's trying to help you. Comfort and be there for each other. Don't dismiss and blame her for the feelings that she can't help." And another one says, "Definitely the arsehole. Go apologize and bring her favorite food." Opie comes back into the post and says, I took into consideration a lot of the comments, but probably won't have the time or the emotional capacity to respond to all of them. There are a lot of you that showed incredible empathy during this time, and some of you that showed none at all. I wanted to say thank you to those of you that offered your condolences, even though you didn't have to. I really do admit that I'm the asshole for blowing up at her and for not being there for her during a tender moment, like she had been there for me. I recognize that she was also mourning, but the arsehole in me was upset that she was mourning over someone that she had never met, whereas I would always carry the wound of my father not being there. Anyway, that's all just filler to explain that I stopped to think about why I felt the way I did. Earlier I stopped by her house with McDonald's, thanks to the guy who told me to bring her favourite food, and she sat down with me to talk about it. We always talk through our issues, but this was the first time that I'd ever been emotional in a way that I was wrong, but couldn't stop myself from feeling that way. I apologized to her and she squirted ketchup on my kneecap as payback. Sounds weird, but she was just being playful. She told me that she understood that my father's death was still a fresh thing and that she could understand where my anger was coming from, but that I was in the wrong for having blown up about it. She would have preferred that I had stated how I was feeling calmly, even if the way that I felt wasn't right to begin with. She told me that it wasn't okay, but she forgave me and asked me for a get out of jail free card if she got upset about something she couldn't help feeling upset about. I know I'm super lucky to have met someone who talked me through anything. Like some of you said, she told me that for her, she was upset that Stanley was someone that she had never known, but whose work will always carry close to her heart. She has always been invested in fandom or geeky things, so I get that, even if I might never experience it. She told me that she mourned for my dad too, that she always appreciated the things that my family has done with and for her, but that she felt that the last thing I needed while mourning was for her to cry too. That she wanted to be my rock at the time. She made some cool metaphor about rocks and rivers, but I forgot what it was. But ultimately, I wanted to thank some of you guys in the thread. Some of you phrased it very aptly in a way that really made me understand why I was in the wrong. Her grief is separate from mine, and I have no right to police it. Though it hurt to talk through and to admit I was in the wrong. I'm glad I talked to her about it. As we always say on this channel, people grieve in different ways. And I don't blame the girlfriend for grieving the way she did over Stanley or anyone over any celebrity, especially one that means so much to you and has shaped the way that you think and deal with things as well. And I can totally see why OP might feel the way he did in that particular moment. Yes, of course, he was wrong for lashing out, but I can see why he did it. But it's nice to hear that in the end they did have a conversation that worked out and they was able to talk about it together in a decent way. But what do you guys make of this situation? How would you deal with it if it was you? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And don't forget at the very end of the video, there'll be a couple of playlists there that you can click on and will automatically scroll through all those videos for you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.